Welcome. Excited you're with me. Today we're going to look at 3 ways to do this. How to boil an egg. Option 1. The executive way.
Hey Soph, go boil me an egg.
Fine.
While the executive approach is effective, be aware it might not always work.
Hey babe, can you boil me an egg?
Boil your own egg.
Option 2. Do it like my teenager. If I ask my teenager how to boil an egg, they'll probably push back and say, just look it up on Google and YouTube. Initially I'll be upset, but then I'll realize the wisdom, because everything's on YouTube. And there it is. Perfect boiled eggs every time. Hard boiled eggs and soft boiled eggs. 1.5 million views. My teenager would say, why should we relearn how to do it when somebody else has already done it for us? And then she'd make me go boil the egg. Or option 3, my personal favorite, mindful egg boiling. The final approach we'll use, the mindfulness method. Takes a little bit longer, but is incredibly satisfying. A refrigerator. It's a miracle. I have a box in my house that stays cold or even frozen all the time. All right, look at all this food. I live in a world where I can trade little green pieces of paper for all the food I need, and that frees me up to do so many other things. That's really thoughtful. Look at this. Cage-free eggs. We've come so far that we realize that it might not be a good idea to put tons of chickens in little cages, and I'm really thankful and grateful that there are farmers who are giving me a different option. I just have eggs available to me. I'm really grateful that my wife went out and got these for me so I could make this video, and I didn't have to go to the store for them. That was incredibly gracious of her, very thoughtful. All right, a pan. This was so inexpensive, and yet it's incredibly useful. Somebody mined that metal and then crafted that. It's probably made in China, but it still went to somebody's living. That's really thoughtful. All right. Well, here's a miracle. Clean, potable water on demand out of a magic metal spigot whenever I want. You know how many billion people don't have access to clean, healthy, safe, potable water? And I have it whenever I want, right here. That is quite a blessing. That should probably be enough. Look at that. I don't have to make a fire. I don't have to gather firewood. I don't have to learn how to chip flint against tinder. Instead, all I do is that. Fire. Think of how long it took for human beings to figure out how to make and harness and use fire, and I just have it at the twist of a dial. Clean water, fire. 2 of the most essential parts of being a human being, and I have them like that. So we're going to let that boil. There it is. Water's boiling. We're going to take we'll go with 3 eggs. We're going to take those eggs, we're going to drop them in the water, like so. We're going to go over to the timer. 7 minutes. Recommendation is between 6 and 7. I like them a little harder. And in 7 minutes, we'll have 3 hard-boiled eggs. All right, there it is. Counting down 3, 2, 1, and our eggs should be boiled. It's an incredible piece of machinery. We just take it for granted. very fortunate to have a working stove. So we're gonna turn that off. I'm gonna remove this. A little hot. Ah! All right, so just a moment. I'm gonna do that without burning myself. As you can see, I've put a colander in the bottom of our sink. I am now going to take water, eggs. I'm gonna drain the water. Let's put that over here in the sink. And right there are 3 perfectly boiled eggs. I'm really fortunate. I live in a wonderful house. We've got appliances like fridges, stoves, things that used to take a really long time, like making fires and boiling water. We'd probably have had to raise the chickens, or we'd have to go to a market to get them. Everything in life is pretty easy now, which frees us up to do lots of other fun things and hopefully make the world a little bit better. So really grateful that I have the food I have, the home I have, and the ability to make.
So there it is. 3 options on how to boil an egg. Now look, I had a lot of fun doing this. It was tongue in cheek. But the reality is, what this is about how we learn and how we get things done and how we're effective. So what I do want to give you is 3 takeaways from my ways of boiling an egg. Here they are. 3 takeaways. In the first example, the executive way of boiling an egg, it's not about the egg. It's not even about getting it boiled. It's about how you empower people and give them an opportunity to do something they may not have done before, and in doing so, learn and grow. Number 2, in my teenager example, listen and learn from others. The reality is, kind of everything's been done before. So if you just take a moment to listen, learn, you might be able to get something done faster, and then you can build upon the success others have had. And then the last one, be present. Miracles are everywhere. There's no reason that the work we do can't be fun and full of joy and a real sense of wonder at what we can accomplish either as individuals and as a group. Something as simple as boiling an egg, at least in the way we do it today, in a kitchen, pots and pans and running clean water, it's a miracle. Take a moment to enjoy all those things, small and big, that go into making everyday activities like boiling an egg or selling ads. Miraculous. There it is, your 3 takeaways from the 3 ways of how to boil an egg. Thank you.